I would like all of us, as we start this meeting, to observe a moment of silent prayer and meditation. Thank you very much. I hope that I'm audible enough. As I indicated earlier on, that we are in the Anti-Corruption Forum commemoration of the International Anti-Corruption Day, which is almost the second major activity of the newly appointed and established provincial cross-sectoral anti-corruption forum. After its induction, this is the first major activity after we have resuscitated and revived and reorganized the anti-corruption forum. As you all know, that we had the anti-corruption forum separate from the anti-corruption council, and all that had its own challenges in terms of functionality up until the executive council took a decision to combine the two and ensure that in order to ensure effectiveness of that structure, the premier had to chair and to be at the helm of driving the efforts to fight corruption and fraud in the province. Hence, we have invited all the members of the Anti-Corruption Forum. We have invited mayors and from district and metros, the executive council, HODs, municipal managers, and other senior officials of government, both at provincial and at local level. So without much ado, I don't want to spend more time. The agenda is as outlined. I would like Secretariat to flag the agenda. Just to summarize briefly, before we go straight to the first item. Ms. Gawe, can you flight, or Ms. Khula, can you flight the agenda? Thanks, Madam. The agenda is very short. We want to keep it as short as possible. It's the opening and welcome, which is going to be done by the HOD of Treasury, Mr. Daluhlanga Majeke, followed by the scene setting by the Honorable Premier, followed by the reflections from the Auditor General, and followed by the asset forfeiture unit on its importance in terms of fighting fraud and corruption. And that will immediately be followed by our guest speaker, Prof. Thuli Madonsela. And we'll have engagements immediately after the presentations. And at the end, Honorable MEC for COGTA, MEC Ngata, will then render the vote of thanks and close the session. So I don't want to drag the meeting any further. I want to request Mr. Majeke, the HOD of Treasury, who is standing in for the Director General who is not feeling well, to come in and render the opening and welcoming remarks. Over to you, Honorable Mr. Majek. Mr. Majek, am I audible?
I'm trying. Yes, I'm trying to unmute and take my key. Thank you. Thank you, Program Director. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. No, thank you. Thank you, Program Director. Let me greetings to yourself, Program Director Tidijikosa, Honorable Premier, Honorable MSCs, which are here, the executive mayors, the HODs, the municipal managers, the CEOs, AG, Public Service Commission, all of the institutions which are actually part of the program today, including national, and all the invited guests. Of course, my greetings to you this afternoon. I'm Daluhlanga Majeke, as indicated. Without much ado, let me go straight to where it matters most. Of course, my goal is just to welcome you as part of the program of today. Call it important matter, especially in the South African context, which we found ourselves on this particular day where we're commemorating, of course, the International Anti-Corruption Day. And I think it is our endeavor to make sure then that this find its feet and its attraction within our institutions. Of course, we are gathered today as people of Eastern Cape to commemorate the Anti-Corruption Day under the theme, your right, your role, say no to corruption. The purpose of recognizing the Anti-Corruption Day is to steer ethical behavior in the minds of the people of the province and the nation as a whole. Where the ethical culture is diminished, a breeding ground for corruption is created. And the consequences of that not only affect government, but the private sector, civil society organization, as well as our communities at large. The aim of this gathering thereof should go beyond being an annual event aimed at raising ethical consciousness and urging a return to being ethical, and finding common grounds on how to promote this ethical consciousness in the public service. This day should also enable us, as the people of this province, to take stock of our practices and reflect on the effectiveness and efficiency, on adequacy of the mechanism that are in place to curb the corruption in the province across all kinds of sectors. We need to rise above and take stock of our life experiences and anti-corruption efforts that we have institutionalized as this provincial government for the benefit of the people of the province. Because our main aim, especially as public servants, is to make sure that we provide service to the people. We recognize that this day forms part of provincial and national campaigns aimed at preventing corruption, which is in line with the provincial anti-corruption action plan and provincial fraud prevention plan. And of course, this was celebrated also this morning at national level. So this is a continuity over that kind of commemoration which was happening nationally. It responds to the United Nations General Assembly, which through its resolution 58/04 of October 2031, which designated, of course, December 9 as International Anti-Corruption Day, as the program director indicated. I cannot overemphasize